They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, he is AC. This is the NFL final score, and while I'm wearing this shirt, it didn't work out as well today. We'll have to see what the Eagles do on football night in America tonight against your town, your team, your Atlanta Falcons. But right now we're going to run down all the games and talk some of the big stories with you. AC, recap the first game, I'll go to the second, and we'll go from there.
Alright, first game, Green Bay 30, Carolina 23. Another huge game out of Cam Newton. Some people called last week a fluke. That shut those guys up. But the Packers do enough to just get by and scrape this one out.
Yeah, the unfortunate part was, despite throwing for those 423 yards, Cam Newton also turned the ball over 3 times. That's something he's going to have to cut down on. Game 2 was probably, I think, the best game this week. Bills over Raiders 38-35. Jason Campbell has a huge game. Raiders were up like 17-3 at half. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, I was killing myself for starting him over Drew Brees in fantasy. Well, let's just say after the fourth quarter, I wasn't thinking the same way. Him, along with Jackson, do just enough to win this game. It was a wild game, and hell, Jason Campbell almost won the game at the end, throwing that one up there. Great job out of the Bills.
Yep. 48-3, rout of the Lions over the Chiefs. They just got wrecked in every aspect of the game. That's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Matt Stafford went down last year, people saying, oh, maybe it's time to go in a different direction. Well, it certainly doesn't look like that now. He's coming into his own. Cross your fingers if you're a Lions fan if this guy can stay healthy, because he's thrown for over 400 yards. The Chiefs lose Jamaal Charles for the entire season. We'll get to that more in depth after we recap all the games. Titans 26 over Ravens 13. Not much to say about this. Matt Hasselbeck has a huge game, 358 yards, and the Ravens come out flat after a huge game last week against the Steelers.
Ravens look like they burned themselves out last week.
Emotionally, they may have.
Yeah, that's very true. Browns 27, Colts 19. Hillis has a big game, and we're seeing the effects of Manning not being on the Colts.
Yeah, we really are. I mean, Kerry Collins isn't horrible, but this team is built to just have, like, Peyton Manning be God mode, and it's not happening, so they're not looking too hot right now. And this is why I say Tom Brady, I think right now at this point Tom Brady's probably might be better than Peyton Manning, although I think in the long run Peyton Manning's had a better career. But Peyton Manning's still the most valuable quarterback to his team, no questions asked.
Most valuable player to his team.
Yeah, and Browns, Colt McCoy looks pretty good so far this season. Bucks 24 over the Vikings 20. McNabb improves, but Peterson, really, he's the whole team. He has 100 yards, but they're outdone by LeGarrette Blount, Josh Freeman, and the Bucks in this game.
Yep. Saints 30, Bears 13. Breeze, the entire Saints team looked pretty good in this game, and Cutler was looking up and down a lot. He got sacked, I think it was like 7 or 8 times in this game.
I mean, I look for any chance I can get to blame Jay Cutler, but when he can't even have enough time to take a 2-step drop to throw the ball, well, the Bears aren't going to have very good success. The Bears have a hard schedule this year. This is why I thought they'd go 6-10 and be the worst team in that division. I think the Vikings might be worse, but the Bears, I don't think they're going to end up having a very good season. In the boringest game of the week, I can't believe I picked the Jags to win this 32-3 Jets. Sanchez inconsistent, but Dustin Keller has a huge game. And Luke McCown looked like Luke McCown in this one.
Another stupid statement out of me last week saying the Seahawks had a chance. 24-0. Steelers shut them out. Rashard Mendenhall has a big game.
That basically sums that up. 22-21. Washington moves to 2-0. There were people who said they wouldn't even win 2 games this season, or they'd only win 2 games this season. They're 2-0. Let's see what they go do on the road. Grossman didn't look terrible today, but he didn't look great. 2 TDs and 2 picks. We'll have to see where it goes from here. Tim Hightower gets revenge against the Cardinals, who cut him. Has a big game today.
Broncos 24 pull one out over the Bengals 24-22. Andy Dalton had another huge game.
Wait, a red-headed quarterback can succeed in the NFL?
I didn't think it was possible.
Oh, man, that was one of the dumbest, most ignorant. I mean, if they were saying could a black quarterback succeed in the NFL, it'd be racist. But because they're saying about someone's red hair, oh no, that's cool. Can they succeed in the NFL? Well, it's a matter of talent, not what color your hair is. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And Willis McGahee, he outdoes a bad running defense in the Bengals. They pull it out 24-22.
Bad team in the Bengals, really. Andy Dalton, he looks good. I said he'd be the best quarterback out of this class. I wasn't joking when I said this. Carson Palmer's a distant memory by now because Dalton looks like the future for this team. Houston 23 over the Dolphins 13. Brandon Marshall has a nice game, but again, he can only do so much with the guys throwing him the ball, Chad Henne. And Matt Schaub has another nice game. Texans get a big win. Andre Johnson has a touchdown. It's going to have to be their offense that carries them this year, but so far so good.
Cowboys, overtime, 27-24. They won in overtime over the Niners. Romo, in between injuries, he threw for 345 yards, had a big game. Didn't blow it this week. And they won in overtime.
I mean, I picked it.
Watched that
this shirt's kind of funny because I picked the Cowboys this week in my Survivor pool, so for the first time ever, I was actually rooting for the Cowboys this week. I can tell you that much. We kept refreshing the game cast, and eventually the Cowboys come out on top in this one. We'll have to see where it goes from here on this game, or with the Cowboys, rather. Pats 35 over the Chargers 21. This was the big game. I took the Chargers. Again, I'm wrong. I don't know why anyone listens to my predictions at this point. Last year I was a beast. This year I'm the Miami Dolphins of the predictions game. Brady outdoes Rivers. Rivers didn't look awful, but he just had some dumb moments. Wendy, a.k.a. Tom Brady, has a huge game, and then you got Pasta Boy, Mike Tolbert, fumbles the ball when it counts.
I mean, Rivers didn't play awful. He had a pretty decent game, but his turnovers came back to haunt him, and you can't turn the ball over against the Patriots because they're going to score almost every time they have the ball.
Now, that's basically all the games we had to recap. We're going to get into a few things now. First of all, Jamaal Charles out for the season. If any of you guys are interested in picking him up for fantasy, I will trade him to you real cheap. And by real cheap, I mean, you're willing to give me Rex Grossman? I'll take Rex Grossman for Jamaal Charles at this point because he's out for the season, and my fantasy team is screwed. And I don't know what to say. How dumb. They need to get these mascots away from the field. That he tears his ACL running into a mascot. They need to move all the cameramen back so people stop running into them. They need to move the cheerleaders back. They need to move the coaches back. And then maybe my fantasy team won't get screwed.
That reminds me of the Comebacks, that movie.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened.
I mean, I'm just pissed. I took Jamaal Charles early in this draft. I'm like, he's going to have a big year. Yeah, let's just say he wasn't too hot through the first week and 10 plays of the second game, and now he's done for the season. So apparently my fantasy season might be done for the season as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you pulled it out this week, at least.
I mean, I was playing Justin Godsey, though, so we'll have to see.
True.
As far as what this does to the Chiefs, I think this basically wraps up the division for the Chargers. I think it puts the Raiders in a position to maybe contend for a winning record this year. We'll have to see. The Broncos, they won the game today. Kyle Orton, I think, is still a much better quarterback than anyone they have on that roster, but I don't think they're a good enough team to go to the playoffs. Chargers, it's their division to win, but I mean, they've won that division, 5 out of the last 6 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah, the Chiefs pulled it out last year. I was like smoking something the day I said the Chiefs would win that division. But the Chargers are definitely looking like the team to beat, at least in the AFC West.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been that how many times? For the Chargers now, it's a matter of taking that next step, and they couldn't do it today. Because Tom Brady, the guy seriously gets an hour every time in the pocket. There was not one time today, and this might also be a combination of the Chargers not getting a good pass rush, but they didn't touch. I don't even think Tom Brady was on the ground once in this game.
If you have that kind of offensive line, there's 100 different things you can do. Your offense could go in so many different directions, and they ran the ball effectively today. They passed the ball short. They passed the ball deep effectively today. And why not when you have 5 years to throw the ball
Yeah.
and do whatever you want.
And,
Their offensive line
people want to
is
say
amazing.
that Manning's got the great receivers, Brady doesn't have anyone. Well, Brady has the right guys for the right system that he's in. Wes Welker never drops a pass. Then Jarvis Green-Ellis looks great with an offensive line like
Bill
this.
Belichick's a great coach, as much as I don't
Yeah,
like
he's
him.
one of the top 5 coaches of all time. I mean, the Patriots right now look like the best team in the NFL. There's nothing else to it. Now, as far as Phillip Rivers, I mean, he racked up quite a few stats throwing the 2-3 yard passes to Mike Tolbert and Ryan Matthews. Ryan Matthews actually looked pretty good today.
And Vincent Jackson.
Vincent Jackson, that one catch he had towards the end zone where he's like that and reels the ball in, that was a nice-ass catch. Hey, man, it is what it is, but Phillip Rivers and the Chargers are probably getting tired, like we are here in Philadelphia, of just being in the playoffs, just winning their division. They got to take that next step, and when I picked Phillip Rivers to win the MVP, this was the type of game I said he needed to win, and he isn't doing it.
No, he's
Now,
not.
I know it's a team thing, but in the end, Tom Brady stood in there and got it done for them today, and Phillip Rivers did not do enough for them to win this game. North Turner is one of the worst head coaches in the NFL. Nothing else to it.
Phillip Rivers needs to step up. I mean, he's trying to put the team on his back, and a quarterback can only do so much, especially when you're playing the Patriots. Your defense has to step up. But I mean, if you keep making those interceptions in those key moments, it's not an MVP. That's not something an MVP does.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I noticed about this was early in the game, Malcolm Floyd was on, Vincent Jackson was off, and then late in the rest of the game, Vincent Jackson went ham, and Malcolm Floyd, I don't even remember hearing his name in the second half. So,
Well, he got injured
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit. He got injured. I forget what. I think it was his ankle or something. But he came back on. They said he'll probably be ready for next week.
Oh, okay. So
it's not a big blow.
that's basically your NFL final score for this week. Check back tomorrow. We will recap the Sunday night game, preview the Monday night game if we get time. We're very busy with school, sports, etc. But this is the best channel on YouTube to get your coverage for the Sunday NFL games each week. I'm Tim. He is AC. This is the NFL final score on the Cash Calling AC Network, and we will see you later.
Yo, run, go tell your mammy I'm mean on the mic like Kanye at the Grammys. I gotta sell, listen, understand me. Everything in barcode, go ahead and scan me. Is the beat there yet?